Hey guys, and welcome back to our Infinite Flight video training series. This is Mark. Today we're going to discuss how to land the TBM 930. To start, you want to make sure that you intercept the localizer of the LOC at around 150 knots. Upon reaching 5 nautical miles out, you want to make sure that you are at 120 knots indicated, as well as go ahead and lower your flaps to takeoff. Also, if you prefer, you can lower the landing gear at around 5 nautical miles out when you're at 120 knots. However, to avoid increasing the drag, you can also lower the landing gear closer to the runway or closer to the field. Now, once you're within 5 nautical miles of the airport or of the runway, you want to continue to decrease your airspeed. So that way, once you reach 3 nautical miles out, or even 2 nautical miles out, you want to be at around 90 knots indicated. Now, once you're established at 90 knots, go ahead and lower the flaps to landing or LDG. As well as go ahead and lower the landing gear if you have not done so already. Now that you have the aircraft set up for landing, just continue to fly the approach. But one thing that I do want to mention is the trim. Personally, I like to use about 15 to 20% positive trim, especially if I'm close to or at the max landing weight. Now, the trim is going to be more of a personal preference when flying the TBM 930. Now, you'll definitely want to practice the landings at different weights just to see how you'll want to set the trim. One other thing is that I know people enjoy trying to get that 3-point landing. However, in the TBM manual, it does state and recommend that you do not do a 3-point landing, that you land on the main gear first and then you lower the nose gear. Now, as we're getting closer to landing, make sure that you're holding the airspeed at 90 knots. As I stated earlier, once you cross over the threshold, you want to go ahead and pull back the power and then just let the aircraft settle. Don't try to force the aircraft down, just let it continue to settle. If you try to force it down, you'll have a tendency to push the nose down a little bit. Try to keep the aircraft level. If you push that nose down too much and then the nose gear touches first, then you have an issue that you could get into, which is called porpoising, where you're just bouncing like a porpoise down the runway. Porpoising does not give you multiple touch and goes on one pass. So you want to touch down at around 75 knots. Indicated. Again, enter that ground effect, pull the nose back a little bit, touch down on the main gear, and then let the nose settle down. Once you've landed, engage the thrust reverser if needed, not always needed on a longer runway. Then release the thrust reverse at around 45 knots, and then just continue to slowly decelerate until you are able to exit the runway. Well guys, that's the basics of landing in the TBM 930. Hopefully this tutorial will help you to have a better understanding on how to land the TBM. It will be a little bit challenging initially, but the more you fly the plane, the more you land, the easier that it will get. Well, that wraps up today's tutorial on the TBM landing. While you're here on YouTube, go ahead and click that subscribe button. We would greatly appreciate it, as well as follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Guys, my name is Mark. Thanks for watching.